Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. In this video, we're going to look at something very, very strange. I'm not even sure what this is. This is the film of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Now, please check out my book review. It makes more sense. And this does not. I'm not sure what this is, and there's two of them. It's very, very weird, and it makes very little sense. So the book is pretty basic. It's a children's picture book where a grandfather tells a story to his grandkids of this town called Chew and Swallow, where it basically rains food. So whatever meals people need, it rains down on them. One day things start going haywire, they leave and have to start cooking for themselves. That's the book. And now there's more cats meowing at my door. It went from a few minutes ago, my calico, to, I think that's Jasper. That would be our kitten. No, I'm not letting them in. They have a tendency to make a mess of my office and be nuisances because they're cats. So back to this thing. This has very little to do with the story. So the background of this story is you have an island that's supposedly right where Bermuda is at, in the middle of nowhere. Its entire economy is based on sardines. And you have this young inventor who, yes, I'm going to look at the IMDb page because this is very, very weird, by the name of Flint. And he wants to be an inventor. And so he's not very good at him. His mother encourages him. His dad runs a bait shop. And he has nothing in common with his father. So his mother dies. The economy crashes because apparently sardines are gross. This is aimed at children. There are various adults who don't think sardines are gross. But again, the world economy for sardines crashes. And so by this time, he's roughly like in his 20s. So he's pretty much a failed inventor. He's invented things that either don't work or don't make sense, like something that translates what a monkey says. And yes, he has a monkey by the name of, what is the monkey's name? Steve, who is voiced by Neil Patrick Harris. So that is one of the redeeming factors of this film, is Neil Patrick Harris, who is very, very funny. There's a few other actors. Mr. T is in here. He plays a cop. Let's see. The only other actor I really recognize is Bruce Campbell, because he was in some of the old Xena episodes, and a few other things, often playing pirate-like creatures. And yes, I don't recognize really anybody that I can name offhand. So, you have Flint. He's now late teens, early 20s. I think he's early 20s. He doesn't invent a bunch of stuff. The town is now starving and having to eat sardines because they don't know what else to do with their lives. And somehow they don't import food. Again, it doesn't make sense. The mayor is trying to bring the economy back by making it a theme park. And Flint invents a machine that's supposed to turn water into food. So, unfortunately, he kind of shuts his house's power down because he needs more power to run this thing. So he runs around and gets more power, and just when the mayor is doing his big display thing, and his machine shoots off like a rocket ship and goes crazy, and then he loses it into the sky, and he's kind of arrested, and he's having a crush on this girl. What is the girl's name? Her girl's name is Sam. She's an assistant reporter, kind of acting. Basically, she's a reporting intern, because again, they're in their 20s. So his machine gets loose into the atmosphere, and all of a sudden it starts raining food. And at first it's fine, and then he senses something is wrong. The mayor is getting rapidly fat because it's raining food, and they're turning it into a giant tourist attraction because, again, there's food falling from the sky. And the mayor of the town gets into Flint's lab and screws things up, and all of a sudden you're getting food hurricanes. And they have to figure out how to stop it. And then Flint, along with the girl by the name of Sam, the slightly deranged monkey by the name of Steve, her cameraman, who's Spanish, apparently also knows how to fly Flint's little plane thing, and another strange character who's, what on earth is its name? Baby Brent, who's some sort of adult person who is doing strange things. Like I said, this film makes very little sense. In order to rescue this, they have a kill code, which they have to plug into this thing. And the next thing you know, any adult watching this is like, why are we watching some weird cartoon that is connected to a mixture of the end of both Armageddon and Independence Day? So yes, this is what is going on. You have we're flying a jet through all sorts of things. We're being chased by, it turns out to be pizza. They have to go into they actually lose the kill code because it flies out the window, and Flint has to contact his father to try to get him to email the code. The rest of the town, on Flint's advice, is getting a bunch of sandwiches and fleeing. And you have the cop voiced by Mr. T, with his wife and kid running, and him doing a whole bunch of running thing while running away from a giant tsunami of food. No, it makes no sense. It really does not make any sense. Meanwhile, again, Flint and the girl get into what amounts to be the giant storm. No, this makes no sense. Kind of like a ship. Again, with the no sense thing. And then the weird baby person jumps in after them, and they end up in tunnels and having to jump through various junk food and boiling oil. And the girl, actually, earlier than you find out she's allergic to peanut brittle, or peanuts in general. The baby person, they end up being attacked by roast chicken. Again, this makes no sense. Baby person gets eaten and then becomes a roast chicken, and starts helping them. And then somehow he now knows karate moves because he's a man's head inside a roast chicken. Oh, this thing makes no sense, and it's weird. They get down to, in order to get basically this kill code into his machine, which is at the center of this thing, they have to go through peanut brittle. She ends up getting nicked while lowering him down there and starts swelling up, and you have a weird rendition of, if you're familiar with the Guardian film, where at the end the young Coast Guard person has to let go, is forced to let go of his mentor, and his mentor falls. In that film, it's Sharius, and he dies. In this, Flint falls to the bottom of this thing and is going into trying to plug in this supposed kill code that is in his phone into his machine to kill it, and it doesn't work because his father emailed him the wrong thing. And his father had been, he doesn't know anything about technology. Email doesn't make any sense to him, so you have that old weird conversation that is known to people in their 30s when you're trying to explain technology to our parents. But again, and the father is able to do it, only it's not the right kill code. It's some sort of dancing cat. No, I'm not joking. Then he's trying to figure out what to do, and then he has spray-on shoes, which is something he invented. He sprays into the thing to destroy it. Meanwhile, his friends get out, and there's very much a remnants of the end of Independence Day. And then the whole landing thing, which is, again, the remnants of Armageddon, because, of course, Flint is gone. Only, of course, then he shows up, surrounded by one of his other inventions, which were rat pigeons. Again, makes no sense. And that's kind of the end. He kisses the girl. And that's how it ends. It doesn't explain how they deal with food and the sardines. The other part of it that happens right before he kisses the girl is him and his father tried to have a conversation, and she takes off the translator off the monkey and puts it on the father. And it's able to translate what the father actually means. That he loves his son and that he's proud of his son. So you have the father-son moment, and then the boy kisses the girl. And that's the end of this very, very strange film that makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense. It's entertaining, but it makes no sense. And the parents will have nostalgia issues if you're familiar. Obviously, I'm in my late 30s. I'm very much aware of both Armageddon and Independence Day, which happened during my lifetime. These were the huge blockbusters. And that's all I could be thinking at the end. It's like, why? Why are you doing this? And The Guardian was a decent movie, though I think that happened later. But still, it's very, very weird. It's just weird. It makes no sense. It's not connected to the book at all. The ending has no explanation of now what do they do, and their entire island is covered in rotting food. So, yes. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's entertaining. It's bizarre. I'm not sure I will show it to my children just because it's not coherent. And apparently there's a second one where the machine is still in existence. I don't know if I'll cover that. This was weird enough. It's just weird and bizarre. Entertaining, but weird and bizarre. Definitely a fun film. This is a children's film, so this is not going to be rated. Yeah, it's PG. It's an hour and a half long. I admit I skipped through some of this. I mean, there's some decent voice acting. Mr. T is very, very bizarre. Children are not going to understand any of this. It's with the other thing, I watched the Lorax recently, which is bizarre on its own, the 2012 version. This is the first one I've watched where really you see the pandering to the parents. At least the parents, the 90s parents, which is really what this was targeting because it came out in Did this come out in 2012? When did this come out? No, this came out in 2009. Yeah, not as modern as I think. I was 25 in 2009. So there's a likelihood that people my age were having children. I didn't have children until later. But again, it's very much, particularly that end thing, is very much pandering to the 90 kids who are now adults and taking their kids to this. And this is the first time I've seen a film that's really doing that. I know Shrek started something similar, but that was more inside dirty jokes in a children's film. This is really recognizable, blatant. We're taking this off 90s disaster films and putting it into a kids movie. So it makes very little sense. It's very, very weird. And again, there's a second one. So yes, it may give more explanations in the second one. I don't know if I'll ever watch the second one. I borrowed this as it's very obvious for my public library because I read the book and I thought the book was cute and I'd seen it before. They're not connected at all. So entertaining, really, really weird. If parents want some nostalgia, this will give it to you. It'll keep your kids entertained, I think. I have a 2-year-old, so I would not show her this yet. It didn't do too badly, I think, in the box office. IMDb has it as 6.9, which isn't too bad. Check out its box office stuff here by scrolling down to the bottom of this thing. People find it entertaining. I'm giving my box office okay. It made back. It did pretty good. It actually made back its Well, no, it didn't. It didn't actually make back its budget in the opening weekend. And it did okay. It looked like it was done for $1 million or $100 million. Sorry. You're reading that right? Yes. No, just 1 million or 100 million. I can't read things right. I'm not good at reading giant numbers. Decimals were not my thing. But it didn't do too badly. So again, it's not highly rated. It's entertaining for a very bizarre children's film. I don't know what I was expecting when I watched this. It looks really weird. It is. There's a lot of musical numbers. There's some nostalgia. Age-wise, this is really not for anybody, maybe over 10, unless you're looking for something really, really funny to laugh at. But again, it's based off of children's picture books, sort of. Not really. It's just taking the name. it's very much of an in name only, and the idea of chew and swallow the name of the town, and it's an island where it rains food. That's pretty much it. But the book is very, very simple and black and white. I think could be wrong. It's I borrowed it from the library. I did it in ebook form. Don't do that. I say this when I do all the picture books in ebook form. Don't do that. It doesn't work very well. But it's entertaining. It's funny. It's just really, really weird. And I'm not sure what I left it scratching my head of what the heck did I just watch. So that's it for this review. If you like what you see, check out the rest of my channel. I do a lot of children's books, a lot of children's and family films stuff. My channel is focused on homeschooling, non-religious homeschooling, so I bring that up in various videos. I have some homeschooling videos. I have some kids travel videos, some more educational stuff as well sprinkled in there, but mostly it's children's book reviews. So this film has absolutely no educational value whatsoever. It doesn't. It's just entertainment. It's funny. It's something you can put on when you need a day off for kids. Mom's sick. Let's put on something interesting. And it's entertaining. But that's pretty much it. And if that's what you're looking for, fine. I found it entertaining. It's interesting. It's really, really weird, but it's interesting. So again, that's it. If you like my channel, like and subscribe. I have a bunch of stuff up. I have a bunch of stuff more to come. Thank you.